You talked about legacy. You mentioned roundabouts, and there's going to be roundabouts here on Center. And I have a couple of questions about these crazy things called roundabouts. Like they're incredibly unsafe. Why are you even thinking about them here in Kyle? I say that facetiously, but I know that's what a lot of people are concerned about. It's something new for the community. Mayor, I see you itching to answer this question. Why is the city thinking about changing up the traditional intersection?
Well, so on its surface, from an engineering standpoint, roundabouts have been studied extensively. And there's two things you have to know about a roundabout that's put at the right intersection. Number one, 50% increase in traffic flow through the intersection as compared to a signalized intersection. That's 15 cars go through for every 10 on a traditional intersection. And number two, 90% reduction in traffic-related fatalities and nearly 90% reduction in major injury collisions that cause injuries. So and this is not sample size, this is industry-wide, global-wide, the rule on roundabouts is that they get more vehicles through and they are much safer. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? So if you think about on Kohlers, we're about to break ground later this year on 3 different roundabouts, Kohlers and Sanders, Kohlers and Benner, and Kohlers and Cromwell. 3, back to back to back. They're double lane roundabouts. But if you're at Kohlers right now, let's say you're getting a coffee at Summer Moon, and then you want to go to Barton, or you want to go to Hayes, you want to turn west, you have to play Frogger in order to get across. There's 2 lanes of traffic coming this way, plus a turn lane. There's 2 lanes of traffic heading west, plus a turn lane. There's traffic coming across you, and then there's also traffic beside you. And the traffic is moving. And if it's a green light, it may be that it will slow some of that down. But generally, you have to really keep your head on a swivel in order just to get across. Well, that's a lot of different points where a collision can happen. You can get hit, and I've seen them. I saw it happen on Kohlers and Sanders just a couple years ago. Someone pulling in on Sanders and goes behind because of the 2-lane feature, goes behind one and just T-bones into the other. A roundabout completely eliminates that point of contact where that lady who was trying to get home got T-boned. And so when you're entering a roundabout, all you have to do is look to your immediate left. You have 1 lane, or in some cases 2 lanes of traffic that is slowed down, not because we put some artificial light up and said, please slow down, because the design of the roundabout is configured in such a way that they are forced to slow down to a safe level coming through that roundabout. And if you have an opening to go, you can turn in. If someone turns down your street, that creates your opening to fill that spot. Whereas if it's a signalized intersection, it's just these cars are going and everyone else has to stop. And then when they stop, you have to wait for a safe amount of time. The intersection's completely dead, and then another light will flash, and then new cars start going. All of that dead space is what causes traffic lights to be inefficient. So the city of Kyle has known for a long time that roundabouts are a superior intersection infrastructure component compared to signalized intersections for a lot of particular spots in town. But one thing that's still an obstacle is what I tell people this all the time: 90% reduction in traffic-related fatalities, 50% increase in efficiency, and the response is always, well, but yeah, maybe in Spain, but here in Texas, people don't know how to drive roundabouts. Well, couple things about that. Number one is that we can learn new things. That is possible for us to learn new things. If you look at the data for adoption of a roundabout in a community that does not have a roundabout, there's normally more than half of the people, we'll say the approval would be 35 to 40% of the people would say, yes, I want that roundabout. 1 year after construction is complete, if you survey the same people, it goes to 2/3. Literally, it flips on its head because of how much more efficient roundabouts are and how much safer they are. If you want to really take it to the next level, however, what you don't do is just put one roundabout over here and one roundabout over here. You're going through signal, 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 roundabout. What you do is you build a corridor of roundabouts, which is what we're starting on. This is why the Kohlers roundabouts projects are so important. So the plan is If you were to leave Hayes High School heading east on Kohlers, you'll hit a roundabout at Sanders, then you'll hit a roundabout at Benner, then you'll hit a roundabout at Cromwell, then you'll go through 1626. That's not being changed as of just right now. And then you'll hit a roundabout at Kohlers and Marketplace. Then you'll hit a roundabout at Kohlers and Kyle Crossing. And then when Kohlers goes underneath I-35, we're in talks with TxDOT, who prefers roundabouts. They champion roundabouts, potentially having roundabouts at the access roads on I-35. That's still a discussion. Then you keep going through, and you'll hit a roundabout at Kohlers and Beebe, and then all of a sudden you're at the hospital. Well, what does that mean for people who are driving every day along that stretch? Number one is you're going to get really good at driving roundabouts very quickly. You're going to do one after the other, and it's like building muscle memory. Our community will get much better. I'm convinced of this. They'll get much better. When they first open up, it's going to be a little touch and go. But again, it'll be slow touch and go because you have to slow down at a roundabout. But eventually, you'll be able to go from Hayes High School to Seton without having to stop, except potentially at 1626. That's what the long-term vision is for roundabouts. But it's not just that corridor. That's the starting corridor. We have roughly 27 roundabouts funded, 2 double-lane, full-on roundabouts funded in the city and in this project as well as elsewhere. And when they're all completed and constructed, we're going to be known as a roundabouts town, and I think that is going to be to our credit long-term. If you look at other towns who have adopted similar philosophies, Frisco is one. They're building roundabouts all over town, and the more they build, the more people want more roundabouts. You just see it happening town after town. Carmel's up to, I think, 300 roundabouts.
You mentioned Carmel, Mayor. I know about this because you and I have talked about it before. I think you talked to the mayor of Carmel. They were one of the first cities in the country to really start making roundabouts a thing. What was the experience in Carmel?
I've been to Carmel several times over my 9 years here, taking new council members and new folks up. Look at this city. Look at how they've designed their infrastructure. Let's get in an Uber and let's just drive around town. Decide for yourself. Carmel is very populous, much more densely populated than the city of Kyle, and they have built hundreds of roundabouts over Mayor Brainerd's career, over a 25-year career. They have roundabouts on all their freeway exits. Think about a roundabout. Like, what happens when the electricity goes out if you have a signalized intersection? Like Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, remember when that happened and we lost all of our signals? Well, we've got first responders needing to get places and the power's out. Or maybe it's a cyber attack or something along those lines that's a huge problem for first responders. Well, when you're driving around in Carmel, it doesn't matter if the power is out. The grid, the transportation grid still functions. And I don't know that I ever had to stop at a single roundabout, including on their access roads, on their freeways. And people drive them. They understand how to drive them. And the quality of life based on that decision to build out their city with a roundabouts first policy has made just a tremendous impact on the quality of life, which is why when you go there and you talk to people, they absolutely love their roundabouts. And I hope Kyle will become that way someday soon.